We've got two really frustrating games and results to talk about today, haven't we?
Yes, we have. Yeah, 1 point from 6 is basically the punchline for anyone who didn't know.
But frustrating is the word, isn't it? You know.
Frustrating is definitely one of the words. I guess it all depends on whether we're claiming we're frustrated because we're hard done by, or whether we're claiming we're frustrated because we didn't perform.
Well, I thought we've played okay in both games. We've just fallen apart at times when we didn't need to.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's the thing. It's not like you're going to turn around and say, oh, he's had a bad game, he's had a bad game. Players have played all right at times in spells.
Yeah, I guess.
But that's it, spells, I guess.
I guess it all comes down to what you're judging people on, doesn't it? You know, if you're judging people on the result, it quite clearly hasn't been good enough. If you're judging people as individuals on moments in the game, there's definitely been times when people haven't done themselves proud. But within it all, you know, there's almost like it's the hope that kills you, isn't it? I think,
Yeah,
you know?
it is.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the Faversham game, for instance, we started really well, both halves.
Yeah.
Really well, but we faded in each one, and somehow, midway through the second half, we're 3-1 down.
Yeah, I mean,
You know?
I wouldn't say we faded in the second half, but yeah, I mean, to be honest, I've watched that game back to half time, and I will say that we should have been at least 2 goals clear at half time, based on good chances created. Now, we didn't finish them, so you get what you get. I would also suggest that the goal they scored was highly preventable and pretty much the only effort they had in the first half. But there you go. You know, we hadn't done our job properly because we've allowed someone to have a shot on our goal, and he took his chance pretty well.
Yeah, because like I said, we played well and scored. The goal we scored was good.
Yeah, and we threatened a couple of others. The keeper's done quite well on a couple of occasions. Our finishers let us down on a couple, but yeah, they have defended well.
Yeah.
Well,
But we come out and started really well in the second half, but it's like soft errors, for want of a better word, have not helped us, and suddenly we're 3-1 down. You start scratching your head going, "Oh fuck, we've got to start this again."
Yeah, I think you know, like just sort of looking back at my contribution to that game, and just thinking about the half-time team talk, the vast majority of it was about us getting the next goal, keeping the ball moving, having a bit of faith that we were going to score the goal. I probably didn't highlight enough the need to be a little bit restrained when we're getting forward, about keeping the back door locked. You know, it probably was, the message was, let's make sure we go and get the next goal and finish them off, which is a good message in principle, but obviously it didn't come, and we have then let in another 2 poor goals, and the spacing in time between them as well. I think it was like 4 minutes between both of them. You know, it's one thing letting a goal in, but what you really don't want to do is make the situation worse so much. So yeah, we give ourselves an absolute mountain to climb, and I will be completely honest and say that because of the impact of taking those 2 big hits, bang bang, I felt that was going to knock the stuffing out of us, and you know, God, if anything, I could see them getting another one. If I'm going to be honest, and maybe this is a reflection of my psychological makeup at the time, but you know what, like the boys, there was a refusal.
They were brilliant. They really fought back really well, and like I said, they get the draw. I mean, one of the goals is the most bonkers goal I've ever seen us score. Yeah. But the fight was, and that showed determination. It was like, hit the bar, hit the post, in. Yeah. Even then we didn't give in. We kept going and really fought, I thought. Yeah,
we did. Yeah, and again, that's where you kind of take a little bit of encouragement. And I said to the boys at the end, you know, like before the game, we would have said a point was the absolute minimum. We were looking to win. At half time, we would have thought we were going to win. In the 80th minute, I would have snapped your hand off for a point. So there's the roller coaster of Tunbridge Wells. Yeah. Unfortunately, there has been a little bit too many roller coasters this season, and I would much prefer a more predictable Right.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, because it can't do your heart much good, can it?
I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't do your heart any good. I consciously try and stay calm. I always say to myself, make sure you represent yourself and the club well. And then I find myself screaming like fucking idiot, you know. But what can you do?
Yeah. And then we're going to Holland and Blair, and again you've had to rejig the team a bit, but we start really well there.
Yeah, we
started well.
We didn't have. Let me be conscious with this. Yeah, we didn't have any enforced changes. So the only changes we made were tactical ones, whether or a question of me trying to give people game time, because I'm conscious I've got to keep everyone on side because we've got so many flipping games coming. We're going to need everyone. But I looked at the team on paper and I felt it was very strong. I think I could have picked it 3 or 4 different ways and it still would have been strong.
Yeah.
But yeah, I felt we had a good side.
That's what we thought on paper before the game. We thought that's probably the strongest side you could pick.
Yeah, yeah, and again, you know, I think it's 11 minutes we concede. So, but the opening exchanges were pretty even. I didn't think there was anything in it. It wasn't like we're under the cosh. It wasn't like they've started better than us. We're both kind of feeling each other out still, and then we've had. How do you describe that? Is it just unlucky? I don't know. It's, you know, it's a hopeful, aimless, long ball into the box. Goalkeeper Ivesy and Kane Rowland all competed for it together. Ivesy and Bentz have clattered into each other.
Ball goes in. And then again, the second one, corner, again, into the box, free header. And you just think, other than that, they really didn't have that, they really didn't attack us that much other than that. And yet we've been...
No, they didn't. I mean, you know what, they've got some mobile, lively forwards who are capable of, I imagine, causing a lot of problems. But on the night, other than, you know, putting a lot of effort in, which fair play should be the bare minimum for anybody, they didn't. I think the 10 had one chance in the second half where he kind of appeared to have broke the offside line, but he clipped it wide of the post. But I genuinely can't remember them having another effort on goal.
That's the point. We definitely had more of the ball, more possession, played some nice, neat football at times.
Yeah.
But arguably, doesn't matter if they were effective, we weren't. It's almost like all they're doing is long balls, and quite a few people have played long ball and won. You sort of question: do we stop trying to play football and just go long ball? You know? I don't think anybody would want to, but it's got to be a debate if you can be effective.
You've got to be effective, haven't you? If you can be effective by keeping the ball under control and moving it up and through the opposition, then fantastic. But if you can't and you're ineffective, then if going more direct works, or it puts the opposition under more errors that you can play off of, then ultimately, if you know, we've conceded 30 goals in our last 12 games. I mean, it's completely unacceptable, isn't it? Holland and Blair, I think, have conceded about, well, they've kept 7 clean sheets in their last 9 games. Ultimately, I think we do have to have a little bit of a reality check. You know, even though I would like to think that any home game, we should be entering the pitch with a good chance of winning. We have also got to give respect to the fact that Holland and Blair are in exceptionally good form. They're not letting in goals. They've kept 7 clean sheets in the last 9 games. That win, well done, takes them 1 point off the playoffs.
And they were effective because their midfield pressed and their defence were well organised.
They worked very hard.
And we couldn't get through.
Yeah, what they were able to do was get themselves in front, you know, even if to a point it was assisted by us. And then they defended very well. We can talk about how much of the ball we had. We didn't really have many clean-cut chances. I think Kieran had a header, which I think might have hit one of our players, which was possibly going in. Other than that, for all the territory, for all the effort, we didn't really hurt them, to be honest. And we've seen that happen a few times. It happened at Hereford Belvedere the other week when we lost 2-0. It happened in the derby when we lost 2-0 to Rustall. It happened in the Vars when we lost 3-1 to Windsor. it's not for want of trying, but if you're going to give anybody the lead, it's doubly hard.
Yeah.
To then.
We managed on Saturday, but we couldn't manage again afterwards.
Yeah. I was going to say we never give them the lead. Of course we did. We got Saturday was topsy turvy, and I was talking to one of the Strikeforce coaches after the game, and I think we both felt aggrieved we didn't win it. We are letting in way too many goals. That's a fact, and that's the whole team. You know, Blair kind of give us a lesson in what you need to be doing when you haven't got the ball.
Yeah.
And fair play to them. That's what their success is built upon. Yeah.
It does it. And looking forward, looking at Hyde, and you look at their league position, and all they've done. Think, oh well, that's okay. We should be all right here. We should get a good win. But again, it's like no, it's going to be just as tough. Isn't it?
I don't think the league position has any bearing. You know, Hyde are a big football club, as are Tunbridge Wells, and they're in a position that they 100% don't want to be in and 100% don't want to accept. You know, obviously. The manager now, you know, he's the third manager they've had this season, so he obviously isn't necessarily the reason they're where they are. And actually, their short form, they had 2 good wins. All right, Fisher brought them back down to earth a little bit, but they're going to be scrapping for their lives. You know, they've got good resources available there. They've actually been speaking to one of our players, trying to convince him to join. Fair play, but gives you an eye opener into the sort of resources they have got, because it's significantly more than what we have. I tell you that for nothing. So I think it's a bit of a wake up call. You know, we've talked about playoffs this season. We've talked about games in hand. We've talked about comfortable, but before you know it, you're on the sharp edge of starting to look a little bit concerned if you don't get your act together.
Well, let's hope Saturday we get our act together.
Be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers.